Hey everybody, coming to you from the comfort of my home because it is cold outside in the shop. I'm going to show you today how to install the iron wheel hit system into your arrows. I have been shooting these. This is just a cheap 150 grain field point with the brass collared insert that comes with the grizzly stick momentum arrows. And truth be told, I picked this arrow because it was on sale. It's a nice arrow on sale. It's worked really well for me so far. So the reason why I am switching from this system that came with the grizzly stick arrows, sorry, Taco's gonna make some noise. He doesn't like it when I just talk to no one in the room. The reason why I am switching from these to the iron wheel system is because the insert in this is a very light aluminum insert. And anytime I've had a shot where I've been hunting grouse, I've been hunting rabbit, I've been at the 3D range. If I have a shot where this hits something that is hard, like a rock or a really hard tree, or the post inside of a 3D target, anything like that, I've had these bend really badly. So I've had to replace a few, and I decided that I was just going to go with something that was a little bit more robust, since I am using my archery equipment to hunt things that like to be close to the ground, around all the rocks and things like that. So a little bit about the hit system. Iron Wheel makes really nice stuff. These inserts come in different weights. The insert that I have is a 70 grain insert. I'm going up to a 100 grain insert with a 10 grain collar. And I'm hoping that's just going to be a little stronger. It's going to make my arrow a little heavier. Currently, this is a 480 grain setup. What I've got right now, it's about 20% FOC, and I'm going to raise the FOC and raise the arrow weight just a little bit, up to around 520 grains. So that is what I'm going to show you today. So what I've got here that you're going to need to install this system, you're going to need the hit parts. I am using a hot melt adhesive. This is what Iron Wheel recommended if you don't want to use their 2-part epoxy. They do recommend the 2-part epoxy, but I'm just still in the stage where I'm tinkering with things, and I want the removability of a glue instead of an epoxy. So, got that. I have some isopropyl alcohol and some Q-tips. We'll use those for cleaning out the bore of the arrow. After we use this tool, this is an Iron Wheel specific tool. This is to install, this side is to clean the bore of your arrow before you put the insert in there. This side is to actually set the depth of your insert. So you'll take this, put glue on here, and smush the whole thing into your arrow. I have a pair of Nip-X pliers that I will use to remove my knock before we do anything, and use to grip my old field point and insert when I heat them up and remove them so I don't burn myself. Also, I have just an oven mitt here, because what I will do is once I pull this old insert out, I will just drop it right there. I don't have to worry about burning anything. And I have a heat gun. You can use an open flame as well, but this is what Iron Wheel recommends in their educational literature. So heat gun, the tape measure is to measure FOC once I'm finished with everything. So let's get started. Okay, step one, I need to remove this old point. And you're gonna hear this noise in the background. That is the heat gun. I'm gonna get that warming up while I do this. I'm going to take these Nip-X pliers and just grab the old knock and pull it out. If you have knock tuned your arrows, be sure that your marks are still there. I do have a little black mark on here and a little black mark on my arrow. Now this might change once I change the arrow weight, but I've got a lot of time to work on it this summer before September starts. So I'm going to make sure my pliers are in the right position to grab onto this tip, and they are. And I'm going to just hold this field point over the heat to soften up the glue that is inside there. These are glued in with a Boning Cool Melt adhesive, and it's been really good. I've only lost like 1 or 2 inside of a target in the last, I don't know, it's only been a year, but I've done a lot of target practice, so I don't think that's a bad track record for a non-epoxy adhesive. Still not quite warm yet. Give it another try. And now it's starting to twist out. And here's the old insert. Like I said, I'm just going to drop it right there so I don't have to worry about burning myself or this table. I'm going to heat this up just a little bit and wipe this old adhesive off with my towel. Just like that. Okay, so next step is to clean the bore of your arrow. It's going to get out old adhesive, and it's going to, this copper brush is very stiff, it's a very tight fit, and it's going to lightly score the inside of your arrow so that you get better adhesion with whatever it is you're using. So all the way in, and it is somewhat difficult to remove, all the way out. And I'm going to do that a couple of times. It actually gets easier the second, third time you do it. Yeah, there's probably some old Cool Melt in here. Who knows what else. So there we go. Nice and clean. I'm going to dip one of these Q-tips into my alcohol and clean inside of this arrow to get, mainly getting dust out, old glue dust, carbon dust, you know, that kind of stuff. Take the dry side, do the same thing, and do one more dry Q-tip in here. Alcohol does evaporate very quickly, so there, nice and clean. And we're ready to put the insert in. I'm going to turn the heat gun back on and let that warm up. Okay, so next step, I'm going to put this insert into my arrow. So I'm going to just hold the very end of the insert. I am holding it with my fingers, so I have to pay attention that it's not getting too hot. Then I'm going to hold this glue over the heat, as well as the insert. I do want the insert to be a little bit warm because this glue does cool off pretty quickly once you take it away from the heat. That is one advantage of the epoxy over this glue, is that the epoxy stays softer a little longer. You can always heat the arrow a little bit to soften the glue if you need to, but I kind of like to avoid doing that as much as possible. That should be good. So I'm just going to take this and roll it right across there. So I've got a little coating on about the back 2/3 of the insert. I'm going to quickly take this, I'm going to twist as I go in there. This is why we pulled the knock, because if you don't pull the knock, you're going to get some pressure. Here's my depth tool. I'm going to just push that. I'll pull it over the fire a little. Push that all the way in, like that, and pull this out slowly. That's it. The insert is in there. If you have any extra glue, you can either heat it up and wipe it off, or you can let it cool all the way and just peel it right off. I mean, it's like glorified hot glue, so it's not a super permanent thing to get off of, you know, whatever it's on. There's a little bit on here that I'll just peel off once this cools down. So now that the insert is cooled off, I'm going to go ahead and install the collar, and I'm going to install the field point and get a final arrow weight and FOC. These collars are a very precise fit. They have good information on their website, and their customer service is excellent. So I recommend that you take a close look at that if you're going to order this system. So this just slides on. They do say that you can use a little bit of epoxy on there if it's not a very tight fit, but I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to take, this is cooled off. I'm going to take my old field point out. They do sell some really nice field points, but I just had these already, and I'm kind of cheap. And I'm just going to thread that in. Looks great, by the way. Just looks really nice. So that is the finished product. Let's see what our weight is. We are at 518.2. So I'm going to use the FOC calculator on archerycalculator.com. What they have you do is measure the entire arrow from basically the end of the insert, so right here, to the throat of the knock. I'll have to put the knock back in. And then you find the balance point of the arrow. You use something sharp. I use a spatula. And you find where the arrow's balance point is, draw a line there, and then measure the from that line to the throat of the knock and put it into their calculator. I'm going to do that right now. They have good instructions. I'm not going to show you that part because it's a little tedious, and it's pretty easy to do just based on the instructions on the website. So this is now at 518 grains. This is a 400 spine arrow. I'm shooting around 55 to 60 pounds of draw weight. This is now a 24% FOC arrow build, which I think is pretty good if you're into a high FOC setup. This is great. So I'm going to finish the rest of my arrows and go out back and do some sighting in. Enjoy. We'll have more videos in the future if you like this one.